Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Anime Sundays, the show where we talk about anime on Sundays. And today we will be discussing, is Dandadan worth the hype? Now, if you're wondering, why this idea kind of dawned on me, I was recently on a podcast with my good brothers, Joe and Preston at Life with Anime podcast. And we were just discussing, in the wintertime about animes of the year, the best seasons to come out of 2024, and really what, animes kind of stood out above the rest. And, what we think probably would be the best one. And, a lot of comments definitely in the live were kind of hyper fixating on Dandadan. Everybody was saying, Dandadan had the best showing, had the best first season, had the best season of 2024. And as I kind of really think about it, I'm just not sure if I fully agree. Now, of course, you all probably may know I am not a Dandadan manga reader, right? And a lot of my friends, Shonen Showdown, everybody's been telling me that the Dandadan manga is like one of the greatest, of its time. The character development's crazy, the villains are crazier, the plot gets really more intricate, and I'm sure it actually is. But for us anime only watchers, and I know we're becoming more and more of a rare breed, I don't believe that Dandadan's first season alone is necessarily worth all the hype and attention that it's getting. For me, some of my few main critiques are, of course, Dandadan is interesting, right? It keeps you entertained, but I do believe it could use a lot more structure in where the plot is going, at least for those first 12 episodes that we saw. Now, some of you say, well, that's just Dandadan style, like every episode's kind of just quirky and wacky and can just go left at any moment. And I think that style is fine, but I also think when we're starting to kind of lose direction of what's actually going on with the plot here, that's when you're kind of missing me overall. For example, there really isn't much plot focus in the first season besides Okurun trying to get his golden balls back. You know what I'm saying? Aside from that, everything else that's happened is just a series of misfortunate events that are kind of collaterally compiling on top of each other, right? Now, again, I definitely don't think it's boring, but for some people who just kind of like want to really get invested with the characters, really get involved with the main cast, you want the story to kind of be a little bit more linear than it is in season 1 right now. Another critique I have of Dandadan, which is a common critique that most others have, is, the whole, super focused on the ship of Okurun and Momo. Yes, we get it. They're young teenagers in love. They're figuring out their feelings, but this like cutesy going back and forth about, you trying to get the audience to really relate to this kind of young minor relationship. Sure, maybe if you're a young teen watching the show, you can get it, but I feel like they also kind of over sexualize it sometimes and hyper focus it sometimes. Okurun and Momo running around naked, and to me, it just wasn't something that's gonna, make me put you automatically top 1 of the season of the year. Now, don't get me wrong, of course, the action in Dandadan is great. Again, they probably could do a little bit better explaining the power system a little bit, but I guess we haven't gotten there yet. It's more just kind of like, ghost stories, exercising ghosts. But if you don't read the manga, you're kind of trying to figure out, where is this season really going, right? What is going to be the big kind of finisher that really relates you or keeps you locked into this story? Now, yes, the cliffhanger at the end of season 1, or if you consider that the season finale, again, kind of left you wandering in the middle of nowhere, especially for a season finale. So I'm guessing they're going to kind of finish up season 1 when it comes back out. Not exactly sure if it's going to be a brand new season. If it's a season finale, definitely horrible season finale. Cliffhanger was kind of really way out the water. And most of the episode was just them traveling to old boy's house. But if it's a mid-season finale, then, I think it was properly placed. All in all, I just think that Dandadan, was super put in this high, crazy scale, of course, because of the manga readers. All in all, I think that Dandadan was kind of just thrown up into that super high tier scale of, great seasons of the year. And you still had, I feel like, significantly better seasons, such as like a Frieren or a Blue Lock or a Reincarnated Slime or Apothecary Diaries. There's just a lot of other opening seasons and continuing seasons 2024 that I felt like really got outshined by Dandadan's hype. And if you're wondering my final conclusion on whether it's worth the hype, I think it's worth the watch, but I just don't necessarily think it's worth the hype per se. So yeah, y'all, just wanted to come on here and share my thoughts about Dandadan and its kind of placement in the overall anime seasons last year. Please let me know how y'all feel about the overall anime first season. Again, I know the manga is supposed to be coming with some real heat. I know some of y'all maybe come from Shonen Showdown's channel where he's saying it's the greatest manga, one of the greatest manga of all time, but I just think that for anime only first season, it definitely lacked a lot, kind of got off focus for me, in my opinion. And besides the animation and maybe those few tearjerker moments in episode 7 where you get some history of some of the ghosts, it wasn't the anime that I'm super investing as #1 of the year. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next Sunday.